Welcome back to ZenDrowse, your quiet space for deep sleep stories, peaceful reflections, and restful nights. Tonight's story is about something many of us carry: hurt, regret, or resentment, and how gently setting it down can make more room for peace, clarity, and sleep. So take a deep breath, exhale slowly, and let your body begin to settle. Let's begin. In a green valley surrounded by old trees and low, gentle hills, there were two towns, one on each side of a slow-moving river. The river was wide, calm, and curved like a sleeping animal through the land. Birds drifted above it. Wildflowers bloomed along its banks. And on quiet mornings, the water reflected the sky so perfectly, it was hard to tell where one ended and the other began. The towns were called East Bend and West Vale. And though they were close enough to see one another, the people hadn't spoken in years. No one remembered the full story anymore. Just that once something had gone wrong between two families, one from each town. And since then they had all stopped crossing the bridge. That bridge was still there, stone, old, with moss growing between the cracks. But it was empty, unused. A symbol of something unspoken. But across that bridge in West Vale lived a woman named Mira. She ran a small bakery near the edge of the river, where the scent of warm bread floated down the lanes in the early morning. She had flour on her sleeves more often than not, and the softest voice in town. She never raised it, she never needed to. Mira had grown up hearing stories about East Bend, that the people there were cold, proud, not to be trusted, and for a long time, she believed it. Especially because someone from East Bend had once hurt someone in her own family. But one spring morning, as she swept the front steps of her bakery, she saw something unusual. A boy on the bridge. He was about 10, sitting cross-legged alone, watching the water pass below. She blinked. No one had crossed that bridge in years. He was from East Bend. She could tell by the blue stitching on his coat, a style only made there. She watched for a long moment, broom still in hand. Then quietly she went inside, wrapped a roll in paper and walked to the bridge. She didn't speak at first, just sat on the stone ledge a few feet away and offered him the roll. He took it. After a moment he said, "You're from the other side." She nodded. "So am I," he added. "I know." They sat in silence, the kind that feels soft rather than awkward. Then she asked, "Why are you here?" He shrugged. "My grandmother says the bridge is broken, but it looks fine to me." Mira looked at the stones beneath them. "It's strong, just forgotten." The boy tilted his head. "Can a bridge forget?" She smiled. "Only if we let it." Over the next few weeks, the boy came back, sometimes alone, sometimes with questions, sometimes with drawings of birds and boats he made while watching the river. And each time Mira brought something warm in a napkin, a roll, a bun, a slice of cinnamon bread. She didn't tell anyone, not because she was ashamed, but because she wasn't sure how to explain something that felt so simple. Then one day, the boy didn't come, not for a week, not for two. She found herself watching the bridge each morning, heart a little heavier than usual. One afternoon, just before closing, a man stepped into the bakery. He was tall, tired-looking, and wearing the same blue-stitched coat as the boy. "I'm sorry to intrude," he said. "You don't know me." "You're his father," Mira said gently. He looked surprised, then nodded. "Yes." He paused, then added, "He's been sick. Nothing serious, just stubborn lungs. He talks about you often." Mira smiled. "He has a good imagination." The man looked at the loaves on the counter, then down at his hands. "I was told not to come here," he said. "That people from Westvale hold grudges." Mira nodded slowly. "We've been told the same about East Bend." He looked up. "I don't want to pass that down to him. Whatever happened before, it isn't ours." There was silence again. Then she wrapped a loaf in paper and handed it to him. "For his breakfast," she said. He took it, held it like it meant something. "Thank you," he said, and then, quietly, he crossed the bridge. Word spread, not quickly, not loudly, but it spread. First, a woman from East Bend came to trade herbs at the market. Then a carpenter from Westvale offered to repair the bridge railings. Then one day, a child from each side met halfway to build a paper boat and let it sail. Something was changing. Not all at once. Not like thunder, but like sunlight melting frost, soft, inevitable, quietly unstoppable. Mira still ran her bakery. She still folded napkins and swept the front steps. But now, sometimes, people from both towns would sit together at the outside tables, and the boy came by often, now healthy and full of stories, always asking for the sweet one with the raisins. Mira always saved him one. She never asked his name again. She didn't need to. Moral of the story: forgiveness brings peace. Holding on to anger only builds walls, but when you let go, when you open your hands and your heart, you may find bridges where you thought there was only distance. Thank you for joining us tonight. If you enjoyed this story and it brought you peace, please like the video. It helps more sleepy souls find their way here. For more calming stories like this one, don't forget to subscribe to ZenDrowse, your sanctuary for sleep. And if this story touched you, we'd love to hear from you in the comments. Sleep well, be kind, and we'll see you in the next story.